What's up, everyone? Hope you're having a fantastic day. Just wanted to jump on here and talk a little bit about success and I guess the illusion that goes along with it. And especially now when we're bombarded by things on social media, we see influencers, we see all these people that are having this success, or we see this picture being painted of, this great life and all the things that these folks are, being able to do, travel and the cars and all this kind of stuff. And I was at a career day today, so I was able to interact with a lot of young people and talk to them about their future and talk about different things in regards to success and the illusion of success. And so I thought I'd jump on here and talk a little bit about this, and hopefully this will be helpful to you, because I truly think there's a lack of vulnerability when it comes to being on this side of the camera, going out and talking in social media. Because again, we've all been there, right? We see the post on Facebook and say, oh, must be nice, they look like they have their lives together. And honestly, I think if we really sit back and think about it objectively and logically, we know that most people, all people, have issues, problems, things that they're going through. So there may be this picture perfect life that's being portrayed on social media, but there are things going on, I can promise you that, whether it's in their business, whether it's in their lives. And I'm going to rip back a little bit, on my own story. So, many years ago when I got into the mortgage industry, before that, my wife and I had just gotten married, and we were just trying to, learn this thing called life, understand what credit was about and possibly buy a house. And we had children, and, just trying to navigate life as best as we could. We didn't really have a manual, but we made some really bad decisions. We didn't take care of our credit. We didn't racked up credit cards and all these types of things. And at one point, we actually had to file bankruptcy. And this was many, many years ago, and we didn't have a choice. Like it was something that we had to do. We were in over our heads. There was no way getting out of the situation we were currently in. And so we counseled and we made that decision, and it was a devastating decision for our credit for many years and whatnot. And so when those things happen to us, they don't define us, but they help us to navigate, and whatever doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. And so those situations made us stronger, but those are not things that you would see. You look at people's lives and you go, oh man, they've got it together. Look at how successful they are. Look at the house that they're living in. Look at their kids. They're just everyone's smiling. Everybody's so happy. And I can promise you that is not the case at all. And I'm not saying they're not happy, but to think that they don't have issues, or they don't have problems, or they don't have mountains to scale, or they don't have things that they have to overcome in order to be successful in their relationships, be successful in their businesses, be successful in their own personal lives, they're going to have some struggles. That's the beautiful part about it. We see the yin and the yang symbol basically representing opposites. The only reason that you can go into a room is you have to come out of a room. And so everything has its opposites. When you look at a coin, you have heads and tails. So you can't have one side without the other in your life. And so the point is, those things only make us stronger. It's what makes our world go around when it comes to the fact that we have problems that come our way, we solve those problems and we move on, and then we got other problems that come in. And so when you see these people, I want you to understand that there's a lot of successful people out there that it took them 5 years, it took them 10 years, it took them 15 years. They made a decision, and sometimes they had to sleep on their couch in their office. Sometimes they couldn't pay their rent. Sometimes they were living paycheck to paycheck, or they had to cash checks for, I remember many years ago, again, being vulnerable, had to cash an AT&T check. Back then, you got a check in order to switch phone carriers, and we were cashing those checks, switching our phone carriers just so we could have money for groceries. And so, again, people don't want to talk about that stuff, or don't want to, because there's nothing exciting about that, but that's the reality. At the end of the day, that's what has made me be the person that I am, has chiseled me and formed me into the person that I have become through my career and the successes that I've had. But with successes come failures, right? Things, bad decisions, and making a decision about advertising and spending a lot of money and then realizing it doesn't work, or that it didn't work for you, or whatever the case may be. All of those things add up, right, over time to create this success. So when I was talking to those young people, I said, don't get this illusion that, you look at this influencer and overnight they became an overnight success. Really, that's not healthy. That's not reality, because there really isn't an overnight success. Some people can get lucky, and I'm not saying there aren't situations where that happens, but for it to be long-term and sustainable. It's who you become in the process of us being successful. And a lot of times we just look at that and go, man, it must be nice to be that person. But we don't know, again, the late nights, the tears, not being able to pay the bills, devastating the credit because, they're doing all the things that they can do to keep their business afloat. I remember talking to people and they had to sell things. They had to sell their boat. They had to sell their cars. They had to sell their watches and their chains and all these different things in order just to pay their bills or just to make that last investment or the last push in their business. And that's what I would want to encourage you today. What are you willing to do to make sure that your dreams don't die? What are you willing to do in your business to make sure that it survives, that it thrives? Are you willing to make those sacrifices? Because success doesn't come without sacrifice. It doesn't come without hard work. It doesn't come without the right mindset. It doesn't come without these things. You have to have these things in place, and it's a constant grind. It's a grind of consistency. It's a grind of showing up every day. If you'll notice that I'm showing up every week on video, right? It doesn't matter if I get 1 like, 2 likes, 4 views, 50 views, 100 views. It doesn't matter. I'm showing up consistently week in and week out, and that's what you have to do in your business. So I hope it's been encouraging to you today. It just really brought to light when I was talking to these young people, and again, they're all being inundated with Snapchat and TikTok, and they're seeing these influencers, and they get excited and go, man, I can just go out and make one video, and it's just going to blow up and be viral. And I can promise you, just because you make a video doesn't mean it's going to go viral. Some do, and some barely get any exposure whatsoever, but it's about consistency. It's about showing up every day and having the willingness to do whatever it takes to make sure that your business is successful, doing whatever it takes to show up every day, to do the necessary things. And it doesn't matter what you're facing. It doesn't matter the obstacles that you're facing when you walk into your office on Monday morning. It doesn't matter what happens at all. You are resilient and you are willing to push and press and do what you got to do to make it successful, because there's people that have gone before you that have, the stories of like a Colonel Sanders that literally got rejected over 1,000 times before he got somebody to take his chicken recipe at age 65. Are you willing to make that decision? Are you willing to say, it doesn't matter how many presentations I have to do, I'm going to do them until I get a yes, right? That's the resiliency you have to have. And that's the things that you don't see on social media. All you see is the results, but you don't see the journey. You don't see the process. You see the guys with the big muscles, and you see the guys that their bodies are ripped and shredded, but you don't understand the process of the sacrifices they had to make in order to eat the right foods and to do the right workouts and to get up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or do whatever they got to do to work out 4 and 5 and 6 days a week and change their eating habits in order to create the body that they created. All you see is the end results and go, it must be nice. Well, it is nice, but they paid the price. So anyhow, hope that's been helpful to you. Encourage you. If you've got a dream, you got a goal, stick with it, press forward, overcome the obstacles, leap whatever mountains you got to leap, because you're meant to have a tremendous life and have everything that you want. So hope that's been helpful. Have a great rest of your day, and bye for now.